started down the tech lane. You didn't give up on the tech lane, and
Never.
but from your learning experiences, or from your trials, I should say, that
Mhm.
parlayed into iSelf Law.
Yes, sir.
Um, and is it safe to say that we can say that it was a seven-figure business?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so let me ask you this before we get into that part. How did you even know to once you made that pivot, how did you know to turn that into a business? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how did
Yeah.
you know to make it online? How did you know to grow the members? Like, what even
Yeah.
made you think like that to get that part going? And
Wow.
then once you did, we could talk about the financial success of it.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's crazy, right? So honestly, I started with my family, man. And I remember
Mhm.
doing setting up my trust and doing certain things, getting paperwork back from the government, yada yada yada.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I remember like my brother and my mom, they'll kind of ask, well, what is that? What does that mean? And yada yada yada.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I eventually ended up setting up everything for my family. And of course, they ended up going off telling their friends, my
yeah,
brother,
yeah,
his homies, whoops, and then they come back scratching their head and be like, yo, man, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it means. But if you could walk me through it, I'll pay you a little bread. If you could set mine up, because, hey, I'm trying to get my truck. I'm trying to, we didn't really know much about it, but, they were very curious and I was willing. I had answers at the time. So, and back then, man, I was just so hungry of just spreading the message. I was like, man, you give me $25. I'll set it all up for you. If I was just hungry.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And and next thing you know, we started having 5, 10, 15, 20, and boys, come speak over here and everything like that. And then, that's when it kind of slapped me, man. I had a lady I was dating at the time, and she was like, yo, I'm building with you, but one thing's for sure, two things for certain. She had 2 kids and everything, and she was like,
Yeah,
yo, we can't just be wasting this time and energy, and you're not going to be wasting time and energy for me doing all
yeah,
this work for everybody else, and you ain't bringing
yeah,
home but $25, $50 or something like that.
yeah,
She was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
nah,
yeah.
what you're doing is worth thousands. It's worth hundreds of, and she's that's why I'm so thankful for the queen, because, in every step in my business, I've leveled up because of the woman that I had around me. And,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what I'm
I was just about
saying?
to highlight that, by the way. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so your propel forward was
Yeah.
because of the necessity from your
There you
lady.
go.
You know what I'm
Yeah, that
saying?
was it,
I
and
feel it.
and I have made a post about that the other day. I was like, men, we always create things from pain, and when people have hurt us, and we go into this mode and we want to create and do things out of anger, trying to prove something to somebody, man. I'm telling you, it's so different when you can build things out of love and passion. You know what I'm saying? Because
So,
those
okay, hold on. We're
have
gonna have to pause on that
longevity.
one. That's important.
Yes, sir.
I apologize for cutting you off, but we
No, you
gotta
good.
we gotta highlight on this one because so I know that there's been proverbs that's even talked about this,
Yes, sir.
or what's the word that I can use? Myths
Yeah.
or fairy tales, or, and I don't want to say fairy tales as if they're not true, but fairy
Right.
tales or stories
Right.
in the sense of they're teaching us how to live.
Yeah.
Um, the one of the eighth wonders of the world, well, actually, two that I know of. So the Hanging Gardens of Babylon was
Okay.
built from a man's love of a woman, right?
Mm.
The pyramids, as we know them, was built out of love and reverence to our ancestors,
Yeah.
right?
Facts.
Or I don't want to say our
You
ancestors, but
preaching.
the creator. You see
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
You
And
preaching.
so when you understand that there's another level of creation,
Yeah.
everything changes. And the reason why I'm saying this is because
Yes,
I
sir.
too have been guilty of creating out of let me prove your ass wrong, right?
Yeah.
Or 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 let me get ready to fight. I'm creating
Right.
because I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go to
Yeah.
war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus I just want to share, or I
Yeah.
just want to love.
Yeah.
So can you highlight that a little bit more since you brought that up? Because
Yeah.
I just want to relate that because we got to be able to talk about how we can make that transition and how that's not weak stuff.
Yeah.
Like
It's not. It's
some of the
not.
strongest men in history that created out of love were still strong men. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Certainly.
please
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
man.
Please elaborate, brother.
Yeah. And we've all seen 300, and we
Yeah,
know how your man's
that's a
was.
great example.
Everything he did was for the queen, and before he died at the end, the only thing he said was "my queen."
That's
Everything
right.
he was doing was out the passion of protecting his whole nation. Everything started with doing it for the queen,
That's right.
So, for myself, man, it was just, like I said, man, just having a good motivated woman that was around at the time and who was willing to get on that journey with me and actually study and build and whoop, whoop, man. It was just life changing, man. And for brothers, I feel like you got to have that other perspective. You got to be able to
Yeah.
have that feminine aspect, because if not, we could get overly masculine. If you just, if it's just a business partner,
Very
you're
true.
all men and you're all brothers, we have a certain way of kind of looking at things, and the women can come with a totally different perspective. And that's what really just kind of taught me, because like I said, I was just, when I was kind of first starting this business with our self-lawing master, I was just so hungry with getting the message out and like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm pushing it. I'm just trying to be a voice. And that's when my girl was like, at the time, she was like, all right, you're doing a little too much, only because you're gone so long and you're not spending enough time with me. But when you come back, you barely even got enough to take care of us. And I got some kids over here. They weren't my
Right.
kids. They were like my
Right.
little homies. So I was just like,
Yeah.
man, I got to step up my hustle. I got to, whoop, whoop. And yeah, man, that's what made me, all right, well, you know what? I'm going to get creative and I'm going to learn how to build a website, man. And that's when I started going on YouTube and started learning how to work WordPress, and watched a couple of YouTube videos, learned how to work WordPress from scratch. And I started making websites from scratch, man. I started learning how to do them and things like that. And that's when I put together my whole school, my whole curriculum, everything like that. And, went out, bought an HD camcorder, got some lights, everything. And I got a membership at a little media center. And I was like, oh, I paid $400 a year. I want to be able to record my classes, man. And it was dope because, we had the HD quality, we had the backdrop, everything was looking fresh, everything was cool, and all we need to do is I wanted to come with that professional quality and give them some new knowledge in a professional way, and giving it to them online was something that we could get it quick access to. And yeah, man, and it ended up just taking off, man. And I'll never forget the queen that I was with at the time, man. She was we started off, like I said, we were bringing in like $40-$50 a week, and then it got to we were bringing in $300-$400, $500 a day. And then she started looking at me a little different. That's when I really started feeling the roar, the lion. Like, I can do this. I can't, that's when I really started expanding and going out and finding other brothers, and and really started. That's what really motivated me to even get online, to roar. You know what I'm saying? Just because experiences me and her had just testing a lot of these things out. And it's crazy. Just like in 300, you had your boy right before he kicked him down the little the drain, he looked back at his queen like, should I do this? You know what I'm saying?
He did.
Do it. And he was like that and kicked him, and that's how I became, even when it came to like our self-lawing master, I would, I kind of looked at her and, I gave her that look like, yo, you think we really going to something? She was like, bro, you got it. This is it. And then from there on, man, I just started steamrolling and never looked back, man. And yeah, that's what gave me the oomph in my spirit to move forward.
Check this out, man. This is crazy. So there's two lessons in your story that you just told right now.
Yes,
so
sir.
Russell Simmons came out with a book a while back, and I can't remember the name of it right now. But one of the lessons in his book is learning the art of giving away for free. Because while you're in the grind, you got to be willing to do stuff for free.
Yes, sir.
In order to build up your value, to charge high
Yes.
value. That's what he talked about. And what that does is that gives you the experience, the knowledge, the know-how, and gets you out there so people are willing to give you money. Yes, right? Dang, I want to find his book, but he talked about that. But then also, and see, this is going to blow my, I'm just thinking about this and I'm trying to remember his book now. But the other thing I want to bring up is Napoleon Hill. So Napoleon Hill, in his book, Think and Grow Rich, before the revised version, he has 2 chapters that I want to highlight that you brought up. Number 1 is sex transmutation. Number 2 is masterminds. One of the things he said is the number 1 drive, especially for a man, but he said for all humans, but especially for a man, is sex drive. The drive to want to impress improve,
Yep.
or express love for their counterpart,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So he talks about that in detail. And he said, if you could take that, drive and transmute it from lust to and direct it to wherever your love is, you'll be able to create more. So that's
Mm.
one of the ways. So when we talk about how do you do that, pick up that book, Think and Grow Rich, but pick
Yeah.
up the old school version
Mm.
where I still have that chapter in there, because the revised version, they took sex transmutation out.
What?
And yeah, they took it out. And then the second thing was he talked about masterminds. Now, overall, he said masterminds could be about 8 to 12 people at the most.
Hmm.
And the power of that is when you're getting people together thinking on the same level, it's almost like you're creating a brainchild, and that brainchild
Hmm.
is what drives the energy to create or excuse me, drives the synergy to
Yeah.
create more success for you and those people in the collective. He said,
Yeah.
but the number one mastermind that you could create is with your counterpart that you spend the most time with,
Come on.
right?
Period.
Your lover,
100%.
right? So
Yeah.
with you saying that, with you say you're giving testimony to that fact
Yes,
that
sir.
your success was because you had a mastermind with
Yep.
your woman.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And your ability to build on that, that's what took you to those higher levels.
That's
So
exactly it.
I just want to highlight that because I get excited because I be nerding out, I be reading books, and when I see things that relate to what I read, I gotta point it out so people can go back and read it for
Yes, sir.
themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And I mean, like I
but
said, those in the times that I didn't have a woman around were usually when business was slow. Straight up. It is what it is, you know.
Do you? Russell
Yeah.
Simmons, Do You? That's the book.
Okay. Do
Russell
you? I'm gonna
Simmons, Do
definitely
You?
buy that, man. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Hey,
I remember he talked about his journey. He talked about P. Diddy's journey, where they worked damn near for free for a very long time. But when it was their turn to seize the moment,
yeah.
they had all the experience they needed, and they seized that moment, and then they got on top, right?
Nice.